sponsor of the Foundation for Drogas-Free World American Chapter, a drug education speaker at 6 United Nations event in NYSDA, chemical dependency member, an International Freedom Medal winner for drugs education in 2016, and he ran the opening NASDAQ bell for Drug-Free World American Chapter in September 15, 2017. He's also the founder and producer of the TV show Time for the Truth. Démosle un aplauso al doctor Bernardo Torres.
So, it's a pleasure to be with you here today. I apologize before, empecé a hablar en español porque nací en Cuba. I started to speak in Spanish because I was born in Havana, Cuba. But I see we have a mixed audience, so I'm going to speak in English, and so that we are understood. The program is being taped live. The reason is that this drug problem is hurting and destroying so many kids, youth across the world. And obviously as dentists, not only do we treat older patients, adult patients, but younger patients and youth. And so it's very important that we know exactly where we are with this problem, because there's a tremendous amount of misinformation. And since we're doctors, we have to go on scientific truth. What I want you to know is what I'm going to present to you today is not my philosophy from New York or some entity. This is all going to be from the NIH, the CDC, New England Journal of Medicine, Journal of American Medical Association, John Hopkins. This is all scientifically referenced, what I'm showing you. And I'll be more than happy at the end, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I want to first, when we start, is to acknowledge the organizers of the Puerto Rican Dental Congress, la Organización de Cirujanos Dentistas de Puerto Rico. That always happens to me because my father was a Cuban doctor, and so when I start doing that, it really hits me, and I apologize if some emotions turn on. So, this is what you see at the bottom is why we're here. And that's why I put that slide at the beginning. That was the Dominican parade down 6th Avenue in New York City. And I said to the father, let's bring your son out here and put on this shirt on him about a drug-free world. And he did, made a great photo. And that's really why we're here. And let's see here we go. And so we're here to get the scientific truth of vaping, marijuana, and CBD. And whether or not these are actually gateways to the opioids. Because as a profession, and as all the health professions, we're restricting our prescribing. So we should be seeing a decrease in opioid use because we are not prescribing. And you'll see some very interesting things I'm going to show you that will make you alert as to why we have to leave the four walls of our office. I want to actually tout my friend, Dr. Marcos Garay, president of the Honduran Dental Association, who says we have to leave the four walls of our office and help our community. We're doctors, and if we're going to save their teeth, first we have to save their bodies so that their teeth can come walking into the office, and he's a very strong advocate for this. Also, Dr. Laurel Madrano, who is one of the directors of Great New York Dental Meeting, Dr. Chad Gahani, former ADA president, Dr. Cesar Sabates, my friend, a fellow Cuban, former ADA president, and many, many other very important dental professionals. Gordon Christensen spoke with me at the Great New York Dental Meeting. He was very upset about what's going on with drugs. He also feels as dentists, we need to move forward. So let's go on. We have a lot to cover. And so I wanted to, as I said to you, to recognize the Puerto Rican Dental Association for putting on this great event. There you see the president-elect. I spoke to Yvette the other day. There you see Dr. Angel Robles. The guy next to him, very important guy, Rafi, who has organized the convention, another Cuban guy. So I feel very comfortable here surrounded by my Cubans. Below, We have a doctor from New York with a very interesting innovation, another doctor from New York. And so I want to thank and acknowledge the Puerto Rican Dental Society. Before I go on any further, it's always said that behind any man who gets anywhere in life, or he keeps his head on straight, there's got to be a woman. And even though she hates for me to ever bring her in front of the limelight, she's very private. That's my wife, Maria. She's Venezuelan. She was actually director of the Gallery of Art for Restoration in Caracas. And so she helps me a lot with going around the world and supports me. And I see a lot of women in the audience, you know, so when your husband's not around, your boyfriend, you know, it can be difficult. So I really have her support. I'm a very lucky guy. So let's go on now. Why are we here as dentists? I mean, we're dentists. We do teeth. Okay, we do gums. Okay, we do dental fixtures. But we're dentists. So why are we going to bother to talk about this? Well, we're also fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers. And last year in the United States alone, actually in 2021, we lost 107,000 Americans to drugs. Now I want to give you a comparison. 10 years, Vietnam War. Who wants to tell me how many Americans died?
55,000.
You get A+. 10 years. Now, what happens with 55,000 if you double it? You get what we got in 1 year with drugs. But I don't see anybody protesting on the streets like it did for Vietnam. That's 1 year versus 10, and we doubled. Why aren't they protesting? Is it possible that the drugs are already having an effect on the society and they've already been dumbed down and put to sleep? I see you're quiet. I'm going to elicit your reactions, and when I speak, I really want to interact with you. I don't feel I'm any better or different than you are. My philosophy is that unless we work together, we're all going to not have staff in our offices because they'll be high on drugs. When people are high on drugs, are they producing? No. They show up to your job on time? No. They seem really wonderful, and the next day you go, what happened to that wonderful person I met yesterday? Now you have the answer to what's going on. And if you have any nephews or nieces or have friends who have little kids, we're responsible for their environment. It's very quiet again. I know I got to you. That's what I want to do. I want to get to you. I'd like you all to go out of here invigorated that you're going to do something. And that you're going to, at least in your office, educate these people on vaping, drugs, and I will tell you more about it. So in 2022, you say, well, it's getting better now. It's getting better because we're legalizing. It went up to 109,000. So now as dentists, we know that if we're doing something and it's not getting better, do we continue to do the same process? That's a question. Anybody can answer. No, we don't, because we base it on science. So let's go on. Vaping has become such a dilemma that the FDA, the CDC said, what is going on? How are we losing youth to vaping? All they're doing is vaping a flavoring. How can they be dying? But they found this happening across the country. We're not talking about somebody 70, 80, 60. We're talking